How are you? Good to see you and welcome. It's time for the Lab. Leo Laporte here, and this is the show where we're going to explain everything you want to know about all this cool stuff, like the toy store, the technology that's all around us, from telescopes to computers to the internet to Kate Abraham. We explain it all.
That's a tough one.
Nobody can explain you. No. Kate Abraham, ladies and gentlemen. She's the keeper of the clipboard, the keeper of the callers, and so much more. Indeed. So much more. How are you today?
I'm superb, thank you.
Good, good. We're going to have a good show.
Yes, we are.
I saw Ray here. He's always fun. And also, as you said, Dave Shea. We're going to talk about style sheets again, cascading style sheets. It's really key to understand this if you want to start doing your own websites. I was thinking the other day that, you know, my kids love playing with their MySpace or their Facebook pages. And I was thinking, you know, now's the time to take them to the next level. They'll spend hours just tweaking it. If they knew a little CSS and they had their own website, they could be learning some real skills.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get you started doing that. All right. Fantastic. Also, lots of great calls I see from all over the world. Everywhere. Who's our first caller today?
We're actually heading down to Victoria.
Okay.
And to a place called Pakenham. And James has, I'm not sure whether James has been up for a long time or whether he's basically just gone to bed.
All we know is it's early in the morning in Pakenham.
It's very early.
Hello, James. How are you?
Very good, Leo. Yourself?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for joining us in the lab.
I will get this out of the way. I'm just, I'm a massive fan of yours, and I'm a stay-at-home dad, and your podcast basically kept me sane from the children. And
well, they keep me away from my children, so that's good. You know, that's the best way to stay sane. Can we see him in here? I want to see the picture of him. I see him on Kate's computer. There, that's me. Wait a minute. We got somebody running around pushing buttons. James, what can I do for you today?
Basically, my question is, I want to find out what you recommend in an all-round good lens for a Canon SLR.
You picked a good time to be on the phone today because Ray Maxwell is here, and he is a photographic genius. And I wouldn't even deign to express an opinion with Ray here. But let me tell you something. I'm going to express an opinion, and then we'll let Ray fix it, okay? So what kind of, first of all, you said you'd have a digital SLR?
That's correct.
Yeah. So there it is right there. What kind is that?
It's the EOS 350D. I think over there it's called the Rebel XT.
It's the Rebel XT. Oh, they call it something different in Australia. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So the 350D, that is a great, great camera. Now, there's one thing to remember on a camera. Some SLRs, like that one, the CMOS, the pickup, is smaller than 35 millimeters. So the differential in size becomes a multiplier. So if you put, for instance, a 50 millimeter lens on that camera, it would actually be the equivalent of, I think, a 75 millimeter lens on a film camera. Does that make sense? It's because the smaller pickup it actually makes the lens as if the lens is a longer lens. So generally, what I like, and I'm going to ask Ray, but this is my new religion. You probably know this from hearing our podcast. I'm loving a fixed length 50 millimeter lens, and it's really more for my eye to train it. The difference between that and a zoom is you actually have to, if you want to frame the picture, you actually have to move in a little bit or move out to get the picture right instead of just zooming the lens. And I think that's a great discipline. You can also get a faster lens in a 50 millimeter, and that's nice because, frankly, I think flash really kills a picture. You know, that 350D has a pop-up flash on it, but it's bright, it's flat, it's real close to the lens. It's never going to give you that kind of rich tone that a great photograph has. So a fast, fixed lens, I think, is a great place to start. Now, that camera comes with a pretty good kit lens. What is it? Is it 28 to 75?
18 to 55.
18 to 55. So that actually is the equivalent of 24 to roughly 75 or 80. Because you multiply by 1.5. So that's, you know, I think that's the reason that comes with that lens. That's a great starting point because you go from wide, you know, sort of wide to a little bit long, and that's a good range. The tradition, I come from the film school, and so in film, it was 50 millimeter. If you wanted to do portraiture, it's 105. That was kind of considered the perfect length for portraiture. You might get a longer lens for sporting activities. You might get it's great to have a macro lens. That's what Sean does, all those great what the tech pictures are with. All right, but I've said enough. We got a guy who really knows what he's talking about. So now that you've heard me blather on, James, let's ask the expert, Ray Maxwell. So James has a Canon Rebel, a 350D in Australia. What do you recommend he start with?
You hit the nail on the head when you talked about in the film days of the 105.
That's the portraiture lens.
Yes. Yeah. If you're a people shooter, that's real good for candid portraits and the like. And
because you don't have to get up in their face.
That's right.
I could shoot a full figure portrait of you from here. I'm about 10, 15 feet away.
That's right.
I don't have to go right up here to get a picture of you. Yeah.
The other thing is, the wider the lens, the more you have to move in, and the more you move in, it accents the differences in your features. If you get a wide-angle lens and come in, it makes you have a big nose.
Yeah.
So
that's hard to get used to. That's why I like the 50, because the 50 is like how the eye works pretty much, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're in the, with that particular camera, something around 75 would be equivalent to a 105.
That's why they give you that lens, I think.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so 75 is very good. At that focal length, it helps you throw the background out of focus.
Right.
Okay, narrow depth of field and focus on the eyes.
So he's pretty well set, really, with that basic.
Yeah, it's a very good place to start.
What would you say for his next lens?
Oh, well, most people want to go for telephotos.
Right.
And I highly recommend, depends on what they shoot, but if they shoot landscapes at all, wide angle.
Yeah, go wide.
Yeah.
And he's already got the equivalent of a 28.
Yeah, which is plenty wide.
Yeah, that's good for a...
He's got an excellent lens.
That's why they give you that lens. It's kind of the all-in-one. Now, in the old days, I used to be taught that a fixed focus lens is always going to give you a better picture than a zoom. Now, are zooms better now than they used to be?
That's not true anymore. After computer designed lenses came in, the zooms now are just as sharp as the prime lenses.
It's very, it's funny because it's hard to find a prime lens anymore.
That's right.
They're all
now,
zooms.
The prime lenses have one advantage. They're usually faster.
Yeah.
Faster means lower noise if you're a fanatic.
That's why I splurged on a 50 millimeter 1.2, because I can get a very fast lens. Don't use flash. There's a kind of advantage, disadvantage. When you're shooting it wide open, you have no depth of field at all, so you better focus perfectly.
That's absolutely,
the focal plane is like this, it's so narrow. So I guess there's different points of view, but James, it sounds like you're pretty well set to start anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
If you wanted to get another lens, you'd have to think about, well, what do I want to take pictures of? Do I want to have a telephoto so I can get distant shots, maybe pictures from a soccer game or something like that? Or do I want to get a wide angle because I want to do more landscape portraiture? And that's kind of up to you and the kind of content you use. I love having a 50 fixed. Now on that camera, to get a 50 to be more like a 35, because it's kind of like the human eye, and it's more like a learning lens for me, right? I'm learning how to compose, and I think it's really, for me, it's been really an exciting adventure to have a fast lens and have to really kind of compose it, think about it as I'm doing it. James, are you enjoying photography?
Oh, I'm loving it. From what you and Merlin were saying quite a few MacBreak Weeklies ago, I actually went off and bought the 50mm fixed lens, but it's not the one you got.
Oh, I got a crazy one, but you can get a 1.4 and it's quite good. Let me show you, if we go to Flickr, I just want to show you some of the great photos that Merlin Mann, who's our good friend, he's the expert on time management. He just had a baby, Eleanor, a beautiful baby, and oops, I'm gonna have to, I'll tell you what, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, I want to show you these, though. They're so good. Coming up, Ryan, in just a little bit. Let's see. Ray. Oh, Ray, not Ryan. Ray is coming up in just a little bit. Oh, I'll show you this later. I really want to. In fact, I'll show you with Ray, because some of these photos are so beautiful. Ray Maxwell's coming up. Actually, we're not going to talk about photography. We're going to talk about big old telescopes when the lab continues. You stay right here.